Okay, let's hear those week 2 apology letters, but before we begin, Cleveland, your fans pushed back on me for predicting you'd only have an 8-win season, but after witnessing that Monday night performance, I'd say giving you 8 wins seems rather generous. It's gotta be that damn Hellmouth. You know, I think it followed us to Pittsburgh. We discussed this weeks ago. Hellmouths are incapable of pursuing victims. Imbecile, remember? Hellmouths are not capable of pursuing victims. Imbecile. You know, I'm pretty sure you're wrong about that. Technically, he's right. Hellmouths are fixed. They don't move around. It would appear that much like that quarterback of yours, you are too perpetually plagued by distraction to focus on anything constructive. How did you do that wavy flashback thing? You think you could show me how to do that? No. Yeah, about that flashback, I would like to rescind my previous statement, as I am now fully convinced that this Hellmouth has evolved and figured out how to spread to Cincinnati. You know, now I'm thinking it didn't follow you to Pittsburgh, Cleveland. I'm thinking it spread to Pittsburgh right after the preseason and just, waited. And that might explain why your offenses look so horrible. And you can also explain that by saying these 2 words, Matt and Canada. Okay, so we're all in agreement that the Hellmouth is spreading east, right? Like, we don't have anything to worry about on the West Coast? I wouldn't say that's accurate. Okay, enough with the Hellmouth. Can we get back to these apology letters, please? You know, now I'm starting to think this Hellmouth might have been responsible for us letting Baker go. Maybe the right move was to keep Baker and trade for Mike Evans. Or maybe the right move was to just stop being the Browns. I mean, it worked for us. And on that note, attention all students and faculty, the creator requests that everyone stop giving Cleveland a hard time out of respect to Nick Chubb. Okay, you heard the man. Cleveland slander is strictly off limits now. Hey! Cleveland's going through a lot right now. Now, if there's anything derogatory you would like to say to this team, you can write it down and save it for after they lose to Tennessee on Sunday. And speaking of losing games, you should probably win. Detroit, I have a favor to ask you. And what's that? Kindly remind Dan Campbell that he does not need to go for it on every 4th down, okay? He is an NFL head coach, not an 8-year-old playing Madden. I could tell him, but I don't think it'll make a difference. And that brings us to Denver. Let's go. Apology letter, and it better be good. Right. Dear fans, in our defense, we did not know Russ was washed when we traded for him. I mean, we tried to tell you. Shut up. But don't worry, we signed Jarrett Stidham in the offseason, and soon he'll be our savior. Okay, that second part might be a little bold, but I do appreciate the honesty at the beginning. Nice job, Denver. Let's see who's next. Dear fans, we are terribly sorry. Chicago! I did not call on you. What the hell are you doing? Oh, sorry about that. Well, since I already started, should I just continue reading my apology letter? You are beyond apologies at this point, so why don't you just sit there and keep your mouth shut? Oh, yeah, okay. I think I can do that. Why do I still see your lips moving, Chicago? Washington, what do you want? So far this season, we are undefeated. Never lost. I know, Washington. Thank you. I just thought it was worth mentioning. Okay, before you start window shopping for crowns, Washington, I'd like to remind you that you are undefeated against bad teams. Well, that still doesn't make us any less undefeated. Really? You sure about that? Well, now I'm not. And on the topic of records, the winless teams other than Chicago that are currently exempt from apology letters are as follows: Arizona for obvious reasons, Carolina and Houston because of their rookie quarterbacks and new head coaches, and of course New England. Okay, wait. Why New England? Because our fans have little use for apologies due to the fact that they're simply too busy counting all the rings we've won then. So what you're telling me is your fans spend their days trying to count to 6? I didn't even know they could count that high. Silence! Here we started. Minnesota, apology letter now. Well, I don't know that our fans even expected us to beat last year's Super Bowl runner-up in a primetime game, so I'm not really sure what to apologize for. And how about that loss to Tampa? Oh, I was hoping you weren't going to mention that, but fine, if you want to bring up the past. All right, you know what, Minnesota? I'm going to go ahead and give you a mulligan for those 2 losses. Yeah, I mean, that only seems reasonable. Your next 2 games are against the Chargers and Carolina, and if you do not win them both, I am coming for you, and I am coming for you hard. Oh, okay. Well, wait a minute. What if the Hellmouth interferes in those games? Well, one would assume, considering your history, that you would have by now figured out a way to work around curses and other hell-related obstacles. Cincinnati, apology letter right now. Another one? Come on, don't I get a mulligan too? Our quarterback's playing on one good calf. Ooh, and you just gave him a big contract too. What's the return policy on something like that? You know what the policy is? Why don't you go your mother and stick it up your... How's that for a policy? Seems like maybe you've been holding that in for a while. Okay, that's class. Cincinnati, because of your profanity-laced outburst, you've been saved by the bell, but you better get your act together soon. New York Giants. Yeah. I wanted to wish you luck in your game against San Francisco on Thursday night. And if you don't make it back here alive, which is very likely, I just wanted you to know it was an honor having you in this class. And I want you to know it was an honor coming here every day. That's what she said. Vegas, that's the tension.